Boucher gives it to OG. Back to Boucher. Woo! Chris Boucher takes flight and throws it down. Yes, sir! Harden is just garbage time god. Okay, Brooklyn take the win over the Raptors. It ends 116-103. The Raptors fall by a bit of a hefty margin here. I don't think the scoreline really tells the full tale of the game, but it is a somewhat ugly loss of 13 points per game. Yeah, we played against a good team. This is the Brooklyn Nets. I understand that, but we're going to get into our post-game show on the Twitch channel, or you're watching this on Amateur Hour Clips. Watch this on Clips channel. I implore you to come watch the streams live on twitch.tv/amateursports. Link in the description. And if you don't want to, I mean, you can subscribe to this channel for a post-game show every single game. Let's get to 75 likes on this one in particular. But the game in question, Brooklyn Nets, I was excited for this game because this is a good test for a young team. And I went into this game expecting the Brooklyn Nets to win, not by this much, but I expected us to compete because I feel like matchup-wise, this is a team that loves to play quickly in transition. They love to push the pace. Remind you of anybody? The Raptors love to play in a very similar way. And first half, we were really following up with that. We were really going with that, and we ended up having a really good second quarter, going into halftime with a 7-point lead. And then it all falls apart in the second half. It really just all falls apart in the second half. The Brooklyn Nets start the second half on a 9-0 run. And a big theme of the first half was the Raptors weren't hitting their threes. But we were playing good enough defense to hide that and to push it in transition enough that we were hiding the fact that we weren't hitting our threes. Well, second half arises. Brooklyn are hitting a ton of shots. The Raptors are making a lot of mistakes on defense. And we can't keep up because we're just simply not hitting our three-pointers. We just weren't getting enough of our shots to fall down. That is 498 followers. We are 2 followers away from 500 on the Twitch channel. Help us out. You can follow on the Twitch channel. Get us to 500. When it came down to our half-court offense, Brooklyn figured us out because when the Raptors aren't hitting threes, this is what happened in the first 4 games of the season. If the Raptors weren't hitting threes, the opposition team just collapses and forces us to shoot more threes. They collapse and they say, come at us. Try to get a bucket on the inside. And we're going to get our buckets, but a lot of the time it's a lot more of a difficult shot. And when we're not hitting threes, they can continue to just sit back more deeper into the paint. The Raptors missed a lot of the rotations, very uncharacteristically. Today, a lot of the rotations were missed. There was one in particular where Bembry in the fourth quarter gets past his check and just walks right to the rim and dunks it without anybody really contesting the dunk in any way whatsoever. Nobody even went up with him. Nobody was near him when he made the dunk. And that was a theme throughout the game. And I hope I can chalk it up to, I'm not blaming Pascal Siakam, but I'm saying that Siakam coming into this team that has built up a lot of chemistry in preseason, the start of the season, through no fault of his own, Siakam just hasn't been involved because of the injury. But I want to chalk it up to the Raptors not really being used to each other when Siakam's on the floor. And I get there were mistakes when Siakam was off the floor, but you know, the way you play is very contagious. And I think that the rotations were just, you know, some fundamental errors made. I think Svi Mykhailiuk had some misses on his rotations. I think that Chris Boucher has looked really lost on defense this season. And when Yuta Watanabe comes back, I think Boucher's time on the court is pretty much going to be 0. He's going to be joining the Goran Dragic did not play club. But let's go into the stats a little bit deeper. Let's try to kind of add some validity to what I'm saying here. So if we go to the team stats, the Raptors were 7 for 29 from 3. That stat line is really masked by the fact that we come alive late in the game again. And that's another thing that kind of annoys me. That's just a little drawback here. The Raptors always come alive with like 3 minutes left when the game's already out of reach. Like, where is all the energy when it's like 7, 8 minutes left and you can actually make a legitimate comeback into the game? That was frustrating. It happened again today. It's very thematic of this Toronto Raptors team. But back to the stats we have. 24% from 3. They were 4 for 23. I think they were 4 for 25 at one point. So they hit 2 of their last 4 when they were chucking up prayers. Brooklyn all night found themselves open for three, 44.7% three-point percentage. And the Raptors, there was way too many occasions where they left shooters open. Blake Griffin was shooting great from three tonight, but we let him. We let him get those open three-point opportunities, which was annoying, very annoying. And the one, I absolutely lost it in the fourth quarter because there was a play where Patty Mills, very well-known three-point sharpshooter, was wide open in the corner for three. And I said again on the stream, why are we leaving Patty open for three? That wasn't the first time tonight. So what do we do on the very next possession? We leave Patty Mills wide open for three. The rotation is late. He misses, but because the rotation is late from Mihailuk, he goes in wildly and fouls him. He gets 3 free throws. That made it a 13-point game at that point. But those little mistakes, we'll get more in on that. Let's check the rest of it. Free throws, only two difference. The free throw discrepancy was similar. I thought the officiating, there was a lot of little chintzy fouls in the Raptors that put us into foul trouble in the third quarter, which was annoying. The rebound battle is concerning. The Raptors have been great in the rebound battles this season, but 48 for the Nets, who aren't that big of a team. And I felt like they were getting way too many easy offensive boards. I mean, a lot of the rebounds aren't going to be because we missed so many threes, though. So maybe that kind of makes sense. We did force the turnovers, though. We forced 17 turnovers. We only had 8. But the three-point shooting for us let us down. And the lack of defense on their three-point shooting really gave us a problem in this game. The box score, let's go to the Raptors. Siakam was positive. I said before the game I'd like to see him get 15 and 7. Ends with 15 and 4, 5 for 12 from the field. This is his first game back from injury. I'm going to forgive that. OG Anunoby was quiet in the second half. He had 5 points really late on, but he had 11 in the first half. 7 for 16. I mean, the stat line looks okay, but he really did go missing. Only hit 1 3 tonight. Van Vliet did what he could, really. 21 points, 8 assists. I thought he looked great on defense. 6 for 14 from the field. And Gary Trent, after a rough start, comes alive for 14 points. But all 7 of his shots made were 2-pointers, 0 for 5 from 3, just adding to our 3-point woes. Boucher seriously needs to figure out his game. Achua was much more positive tonight without Kem Birch available. Achua stepped up and had 13 points on 6 for 11 shooting. That was much better from him. And, not much else. Another DNP for Dragic. On the Brooklyn side of things, Kevin Durant torches us for 31. Harden torches us for 28. Got a lot of those points late, to be fair, in those garbage time kind of situations. But all 5 of their starters get 10. Patty Mills off the bench gets 13. Again, left him open too much. And the Raptors fall in this one. So I am going to reiterate, this is the Brooklyn Nets. I understand that the Brooklyn Nets are a good team. They're one of the best in the NBA, if not the best. Favorites to go and win an NBA championship. But my thing is always, I'm not as concerned about the win-loss as I am for this team, specifically this Raptors in this possible transition year. I am more concerned about the way we play. The way we played today was extremely, extremely sloppy on defense, and we just didn't get our threes to fall. Offensively, chalk it up to a bad shooting night. Defensively, lots of easy buckets that the Raptors are just not accustomed to allowing. We don't usually allow teams to get 116 points. It really reminded me of the way we looked in Tampa, where the rotations just weren't there today. The rotations just simply weren't there. I gave some examples already of that one. I thought the starting lineup, looking at chat now, I thought the starting lineup looked good. I liked the starting lineup, even with the small ball starting lineup. I think it worked okay. Hopefully Siakam is kind of easing back into it, and Wednesday he can go full throttle, no minutes restriction. But it's the Brooklyn Nets. I understand it's the Brooklyn Nets, but I wish we had a better performance here because this was a real test and didn't quite pass the test here. But Raptors, we'll bounce back. We're still 500. I still think 6-5 is a good record for this team, but let's not go on a slippery slope here. We're 2-5 at home. This team is supposed to be really good at home. We're 2-5 at home, but we're 4-0 away. We're about to start a road trip, and we'll see how they fare in those situations. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tune in tomorrow on stream as we do the How Hungry is Jacob cooking show. We make 2 of the most cursed recipes I could find as I scoured the internet. And make sure, guys, remember, we have a Toronto Raptors ticket raffle going on right now. So you purchase your raffles for $5 minimum. You support MLSE Foundation charity, and you can put yourself in the running to win 2 tickets to the Raptors versus the Oklahoma City Thunder on December 8th, courtesy of Amateur Sports. Go check the link in the description to see how you can enter and win those tickets by supporting a good cause in the process. Thank you again, guys. We'll see you next time for the next post-game show.